Good morning, Shlog fans. It is Tuesday. Man, what an awesome ride we had yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a card right here. You gotta watch that ride. It's a long video because we did 76 miles of radness on the Uncompahgre Plateau. So you gotta check it out. Let me know what you think. Either comment on that video or comment below. Guys, I love you. This whole channel is growing really fast. I just appreciate every last one of you. It really, really is awesome. If you're new to the channel and you're even considering it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We put out a video almost every day at 4 o'clock. We shoot Tuesday through Saturday. We upload Wednesday through Sunday, and then usually there's extra videos Monday and Tuesday too. So anyway, it's Tuesday. It's a beautiful day in Western Colorado. We got a lot of work to do. Zach and I are gonna hammer down and get a bunch of work done today. So let's get on with the daily Shlog. Oh, guys, we're at the shop, ready to rock and roll. Brian is here helping us open up, which is awesome. That's helping a ton. And I got a little bit of mail time. It's not quite as cool as like most mail times, but it's awesome because we got something from the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Registration Unit, which means we got stickers for the bikes, OHV stickers, and that makes me super happy. That actually happened pretty fast because I did it online. It's always faster when you do it online. Guys, if you're watching from out of state and you're coming here to ride with me or just in this area at any time, we do have OHV stickers here. You do need them if you're coming from out of state. Even if you're street legal and you have a plate, our state still requires an OHV sticker. They're $25.25. The money really does go to helping with trails and things like that. If you've ever been to Peach Valley and been out to the training course, we've got a supercross track, an endurocross track, unloading ramps, gazebos, grills, bathrooms. A lot of that was paid for by OHV dollars, so that's pretty awesome. But I also want to show you something cool. It'll probably be the last one I open. That's the YZ450. It is going to be the last one. There we go. 2018 KTM. Check this thing out. So these are supposed to go on your forks. A lot of people don't like that because it's on your fork. It's kind of messy. Anyway, it's, you know, they build up over time. You got to peel them off. Anyway, so got a solution. Check this thing out. And they're $15.95. A lot of you guys know about these already. I just haven't been using them yet. But boom. Right there from Fly, just a little carbon fiber wrap. So what we do, we take our sticker, rip, and we go like that. And we come out here. Now, my bike is super dirty from the ride yesterday, and I'm going to be cleaning that up and actually kind of going over what I do to rehab a bike after a ride like that. But check this out. Just like that. Like I said. I haven't been using those. Obviously, there's a sticker on there. I'm going to get that one off. But that is a really nice way to do it so that you don't have to have that sticker on there. Also, when you get your fork serviced at a place like this or any other place and they clean them really, really well, a lot of times it'll, like, the cleaning agents we use will wipe those numbers right off of that thing and mess it all up. So it's nice to have it removable, clean it off, put it back on, you're good to go. Anyway, super stoked about that. Going to probably work on YZ450F forks and front wheel bearings today, first of all, and then move on from there. All right, guys, so I was supposed to be doing fork seals on a YZ450F, but it turns out it takes 46 millimeter KYB seals, and I don't have any. I thought I did for the YZ125, but I must have sold them or something anyway. So I had to order some more. So instead, because I don't want to let you down, I will still be doing fork seals on the YZ. It's just going to be on this 450 with 48 millimeter forks. But first things first, we got to make some coffee to keep Angry Zach Sheets at bay. He did just get off of a weekend. It seems like it was a good one, but you just never know. I'm concerned for my safety and the safety of others. I'm gonna make him some coffee and keep him happy. Oh man. So while that French press is doing its thing, let's take this thing apart. All right, so I know I've done these before, but we'll go pretty in depth on this for the Shlog, because I don't know what else I'm going to get done today because it's crazy. But and I got other things. If I have a chance, I might put the hints and clutch into my bike. We'll do an in-depth, like, specific video about that, kind of showing the differences between the Hinson and the stock and why I like them and all that stuff. But for the Shlog, we'll just hit the highlights of it. But yeah, anyway, let's take this fork apart and get it all serviced up. And again, this is a 2010 YZ450F. These are the KYB SSS forks. Some of the most sought after forks on earth. This is the stuff that people are putting inside of KTM's forks, because they're just better forks. That's all there is to it. Get to use my cool TBT fork wrench. Thank you, Roger Hurd, for these. This thing's awesome. All right, so we got the cap off, that down, so oil drained out of the outer chamber. Now we're gonna come over here. There we go. Got our cool little holder here. All right, so we got a 15mm wrench. Take that guy off. Hello?
Hello.
What's happening? Who's that?
It's Jason. I spoke with you earlier.
Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah. I don't get that loose. Oh, I'm talking to the camera. Now, got the cartridge. Got the cartridge. Gonna set this aside, do the seals and the other part. Then I'll show you how we take this apart, service it, and put it back together. Shut up, Zach Sheets. You're ruining my video. So I don't know if you guys noticed how easily that came apart. It's because this bushing just slid right out of these things. I think these bushings are junk, so I'm gonna just replace all of it because it doesn't look like these have been done maybe ever, but definitely not in any time recently. So, but let's take a look at the bushings real closely just to see. Yeah, if you take a look in there, they're all discolored and worn out. Same with the outside of that one. All right, we're gonna take these, take tubes over and clean them out in the parts washer. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the tubes all cleaned up in the parts washer. Now we're gonna put our crosshatch in it. I've described this a bunch of times, but someone asked me, red Scotch-Brite, put it around the tube, and you're just gonna twist the tube and slide up at the same time. There we go. And we're gonna do a real close inspection of the tube, make sure everything is good, looks nice. Then we're gonna get our bushings and seals and slide them on. Fork seal bullet makes it really nice so you don't tear the seals as they go over. Dust seal goes on first. Then third clip. And oil seal. A lot of you guys might notice that I'm not using SKF seals. It's because I had an actual Yamaha fork seal kit. The long story, guy brought it in. I ended up using SKFs on it and our own bushings because I forgot that he had brought this in. Anyway, so I ended up with it. These are really, really good. Just as good as the SKFs because they're OEM. So yeah, we're gonna use that. Washer. First thing, fork seal driver, you're going to drive the outer bushing into its home. There we go. Then the oil seal. And the circlip, tuck that down in there. And then with the dust seal, I just go like that and you're good to go. So now, fork seals are done. Now I gotta do the inner chamber because this is a twin chamber fork or a closed chamber if you wanna call it that. Get the trash out of the way. Chuck it up in soft jaws. You don't have to tighten down really tight on these jaws because we're going to use a wrench to hold this as we undo the inner chamber. Alright, so now once you got it loose, take the back of the rod, should push up, there we go. We're here to our tank, pull that out, dump that out. Now, here's the thing with these SSS forks. The one weakness in these forks is this thing, it's called a free piston, and they break if you hit something really hard and it compresses really quickly. It builds pressure and it busts these things out. So that's not happened yet on this, which is a good thing. We can actually modify this thing so it won't break. Let me show you how we do that. Clean it off. All right, so 1/4 inch drill bit. We're gonna come in here, go nice and easy, and boom, just like that. That's all you gotta do. That'll solve the free piston problem forever. Now, obviously, we got to make sure we don't have any little plastic pieces floating around. Blow that out. now we got our cartridge. We're gonna pump. It up and down. Get all the oil out. Spray some brake clean down in there. All right. Now we're going to add oil to this chamber, and here's the thing. There is some amounts on 200 and something cc's or whatever. What we're going to do is we're just going to not fill it up, but we're going to fill it to just below here, and we're going to pump this up and down to bleed it. And then when we put the cartridge back in, it'll push the excess out, and then we can bleed it off, and it'll end up with the right amount. It's a little bit messy, but this way it works. You make sure you get enough in there. Here's a quick tech tip: when you take your hands, put them over the holes so that as you're pouring it, it doesn't accidentally go out those holes and onto the ground. I do have a pan down there to catch anything, but I don't. Bleed that. Get all the air out of it. All right. Now, push it up. The oil level is just, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's just below those holes. Now, we're going to take our cartridge, come in here. And then, as we push, see, it's going to push the rod out. There we go. Fork cap tool. Should be able to do this by hand right up until the end, and then chalk it up again just to hold it while get your fork cap wrench and put that extra little so it doesn't come loose. There we go. Now what we're going to do is, again, I have a pan down here to catch the oil, but I'm going to show you. Take this rod, I'm going to push it up and bleed off any extra oil, like that. And then when you let go, this should come all the way back out all by itself. If it doesn't, that means there's another seal inside here that you have to replace, but this one worked just fine. So now we're going to reinstall it into the outer fork tubes. Your spring perch, put it on there. Take this nut, you want to run that nut all the way down, like that. Spring, fork tubes. Holder. There we go. Damping adjuster rod. Slide that down in after it's nice and clean. Always want to grab it, push on it, make sure it's springing up and down. If it doesn't, if it sticks down or if it won't move, you're gonna need to take this whole thing apart and really figure out what's going on, because that means that the actual adjuster is seized. So this one's good. Clean this guy. Start it by hand like everything. Just wrap it on there. we go. Hard part's done now. Now all you gotta do is pour 350 cc's of, this is Maxima 5-weight fork oil. All right, chuck back up in the soft jaws just to put that little bit of on there. Now, clean off the fork bleeder. By the way, I do highly recommend fork bleeders. Make this job so much easier bleeding the forks, which a lot of people just don't do as often as they should. Final clean. All right, now we're gonna set his clickers. I didn't actually count them beforehand because he just bought this bike, he didn't know anything about it. So I'm setting them where I think they're gonna be good for him, and then he can adjust them from there. So on compression, which is on the top on these forks, I'm gonna go 10 out. And rebound, gonna go 13 out. There you guys go. That is how you change fork seals and service a set of KYB SSS forks. That's speed sensitive suspension is what that SSS stands for, which is honestly the gold standard for forks. They just work so good. And that speed sensitive, what that means, here's a little information for you guys if you care, is that the fork is more sensitive to how quickly it's moving than where it is in the stroke. And that's important because if you're going through a G out and then there's a rock in that thing, you want it to handle that rock just as if you were going along flat ground. You know, there's still obviously some difference because the spring is preloaded and all that, whatever, but it makes for a way better fork because it's, like I said, it's more sensitive to the speed that the fork is moving than where it is. Yeah, let's put this thing back on. We got the other one to do, but it's just like this one, so I won't film that. And then we'll get on with the rest of the day. Zach Sheets is having fun with the V-Strum 650. It may be his new favorite machine ever. I don't know. All right on, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Shlog. I got those forks done. Zach got a ton of work done. I didn't film anything else because I wanted to go in depth on those forks and kind of make this a separate video slash Shlog. Anyway, yeah, it was awesome. Like I said, if you haven't checked out the ride video from yesterday, you got to do it. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was a blast. Anyway, guys, I love you. Get out, spread the gospel 2 wheels, and as always, you know what I'm gonna say, you got to get out and ride your dirt bikes.